So, hi everyone, and welcome to our pilot or prelude show to our new bolt action show. So, it's going to be a tale of three gamers, and we've even settled on a name on it, haven't we, gents? Warren, would you care to do the honors?
Apparently so. Apparently, the name of this show is The Big Bolt Action Locked and Loaded Show.
That's a bit of a mouthful.
Why did we pick that?
Because later on, we'll have the bigger Bolt Action Locked and Loaded Show.
Where it goes deeper.
Okay.
The XLBS version.
Well, sometimes we might be talking at real depth.
Yeah.
Okay. And in that case, then we'll title it The Deep Bolt Action Locked and Loaded Show.
Okay.
Or if you subscribe to Backstage, you're going to get a whole lot extra, in which case you get the full Bolt Action Locked and Loaded Show.
Okay.
It's absolute genius, Justin. Anyway,
Yeah.
three Egypts
Yep.
getting into bolt action.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're on the catch-up. Let's be honest. You are on the catch-up.
On the catch-up, I haven't even decided on an army yet.
Yep.
Well, it's a good thing we did the honors
Yes.
for him, isn't it?
We've
We'll get to
essentially
that.
done one for you.
Yeah.
Well,
that you might like.
Let's talk about this. Okay.
Okay.
First, for anybody that's new to it, let's talk about what bolt action is.
Mhm.
So it's a 28mm
Yep.
World War II skirmish game by Warlord Games,
Yep.
and it's fabulous.
It's absolutely brilliant.
It was the winner of our 2014 Historical Game of the Year,
Yep.
and it's got tons of models. The models are great.
They are.
So if you're into your World War II and you love tanks and all that kind of stuff, this is a great game to work with if you love your God scale as well.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
well, it's the skill where you're really starting to get in and see the individual tactics that units would have had to go
Yeah.
through.
Now there's the main rule book.
Yep.
Now, this is where you guys are going to bring me to catch up. There's the main rule book, and if you're interested in how to play, I've actually done a how to play video with Alessio Cavatori, so we'll link to that so as you can get up to speed on the basics of how the game is played.
Yep, and just so everyone's clear, it is in two parts.
Uh-huh. And then there's the kind of individual army books, faction books.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what have we got? We've got Germans, Russians, Brits,
American,
US,
Italians.
Italians. I think there's even
With your-
Japanese,
with your-
isn't
with
there?
your-
Japanese, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So from day one, there's a whole host of games to play. Now, where this game is interesting is there's no kind of fixed early war, mid war, late war kind of thing. It's a bit more flexible in that sense, in that you basically you can either pull together a list of whatever you like.
Yeah, you can
and just
pull a
play it.
generic
Yeah,
combatant list together, or you can actually go into theaters.
or
and
you can
resource
go into
lists.
theaters. Yeah, so that's the basics of the game. So what the whole series is going to be about is our journey into bolt action, what we discover, in terms of our army building and rules, and well, at least that's what I'm looking forward to.
Because
Yeah.
it's been quite a long time since that demo game was filmed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's been quite a long time, and we've not really had an opportunity to sit down and do a good discussion and
Yeah.
get
Well,
to
I mean,
grips
like
with
John himself dragged me kicking and screaming to this game. I was resisting the whole way. Played one game, went, wait a minute, hang on. Okay, let's go. This is
Yeah.
amazing. Off we
Mhm.
go.
Well, what armies have you guys picked?
Well, I've went for the British, which a lot of people looked at me and went, "You're going British and you're not going for Germans." And I was like,
Yeah.
"No, I'm not going Germans
Okay.
because I do military modeling, so I'm sick to death of painting panthers and tigers anyway at 35th scale. I don't want to do it at 28. I'm going to do something different."
Yes,
So I
but
went British.
Are
I'm
you
doing
theming
Germans.
it? Are you
It is
theming it?
themed.
Are you historically theming it?
Yes.
Then.
The army is going to be part of the Guards Armored Division,
Mhm.
and in specifics, the second and third Battalion Irish Guards.
Uh-huh.
So, second Battalion Irish Guards is the armored unit, and the third Battalion, I believe, if I've probably got this back to front, or Scanny, you're going to be on this for me, was the infantry contingent,
Yes.
and I've themed the army based on that.
Uh-huh.
So I've got lots of Shermans on the way. I've got Fireflies in there. I've
Yeah.
got artillery, good lump of infantry, and all that sort of stuff.
That's where you're planning on heading with all of this,
Yeah.
then, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about you?
for me, it's the Germans I've taken. So I've played well, I'm playing my games at the minute as the Here Grenadier, which is late 1945.
So you're
44.
you're theming it as well. All right, okay.
So the one I'm basing it on is Operation Watch on the Rhine, which is actually Germany's name for the Battle of the Bulge.
Uh-huh.
Okay, fine.
Okay, no, keep going, keep going.
No, basically, so I'm playing it late war because I want to get all the bigger tanks in.
Oh,
So
sure you do.
Eventually,
yes.
I want to see Tiger 2 rolling out onto the field against John and just have all his Shermans going, no, look at the size of that thing. It's not fair.
Yeah. Right, well, I'm going to go for some kind of weird Pulp Fiction. No?
If you're doing this, you're going to do it right. John?
So I'm not going with silver tanks screaming across the battlefield supported by flying saucers.
That is your army. There are many like it, but that one is yours.
This is my army. It seems I'm going Soviet Union.
Yes, this is your army. There are many like it.
Well, do you know what? I accept your challenge.
All right.
Okay? I have never done a historically themed army. In my last venture into gaming, which was with the fabulous Flames of War, my first love of historical gaming, I did go pulpy, okay? And I went very pulpy, and I had an absolute blast with it.
Yep.
But that's my pulp army. In this one, I'm going to try something different. I accept your challenge. I'm going to go Soviets. I know absolutely nothing about them, but now's as good a time as any to learn.
Yep, which is why we've done you a starter list and an expansion up to 1,500 points.
Yeah.
So everything's set and ready for you to rock and roll with this.
Well, I'm only going to start with the starter list to begin with the starter box, okay? Because what I want to do is I want to throw it out to the community, okay? You guys know me. Well, a lot of you know me. If I wanted to historically theme this, this army, okay, who would you recommend? Like, I know nothing about how the Soviets even structured their battle groups and stuff like that there. So educate me, my community, come to my rescue and educate me. If I was going to pick a Soviet kind of Soviet battle group or whatever to theme this around and to learn about, who would it be? Can I put in a couple of caveats?
Go on.
I don't have an enormous amount of time for painting.
Yep.
Okay? So whatever it is, it can't be 1,000,000 men. Okay?
As it stands in the starter box, you're going to have 66 men to paint.
Oh, here we go. Right, okay. So I'm going to have to get used to painting then, aren't I?
Well,
you're lucky that the uniform is all one color.
That's a solid block that lets you start playing bigger games.
Yes.
You know, you can build on that starter box and move up to your bigger games without having to get a tranche more men unless you're wanting to use them.
Right, so 66, right. So in my starter box, he's given me this here. So let me read this out. Yep. So in my starter box, I have a 1,000-point Russian starter army.
Yep.
Okay? I have a first lieutenant and one extra rifleman. All right. I have a medic and one extra rifleman. Chuck him out. What do I need a medic for? I just get more men by the sounds of it. I have 4 11-man infantry squads with submachine guns and light machine guns. Yeah. And I have an inexperienced infantry squad. Is that my...
That's your special
conscript.
That's like
that's your special rule.
That's my 40k conscripts then,
yeah. You get one free maxed out unit of experienced troopers.
I'm getting excited now. Okay. So I've got my 40k inexperienced conscripts, 11 of them. So that's 55 so far. Oh, I've got a mortar team. I've got an 82mm medium mortar team.
Yep.
I've got an anti-tank rifle team. Anti-tank rifle team? A rifle that's anti-tank?
Yeah.
How many people carry it?
I think it's 2-man crew.
Yeah. You're hardly going to take a tiger out with that, though, are you?
No, you're not.
Would I even take a firefly out with that?
No, you're not.
What would I take out with that? An Auto Belinda or something like that? Yeah, all right, okay.
That's what comes in my starter army.
No,
okay. Right. And then finally we get to the meat of it. I've got a T-34-85 medium tanks.
Yeah.
No tank. It's a single tank.
It is.
Yes. Tanks are expensive in this game.
235 points.
Yeah.
I would have thought by going Russians that a T-34-85 would have cost, what? Let's be realistic here. 10 points?
Yes, but you still have the army restrictions. For each tank, each weapons team, and so on that you want to take, you have to have a commanding officer. So you see that first lieutenant.
So there's a force organization chart to bolt action that shapes the direction that my list's going to go.
Your army is formed of platoons. Everything you field is a reinforced platoon. That's the name of it.
Yeah.
Every platoon has to have 1 officer and 2 units of infantry.
Yeah.
That then unlocks you to have up to 1 weapons team, MG team, 1 artillery, 1 tank destroyer, that and that. So the more platoons you can fit in with your points list, your points restriction, the more of that stuff you can take.
Yeah.
Yes, but then you're onto the balancing act of, okay, I'm taking my minimums here, but I'm having to divide them down so much. Because say you're only taking minimum man units, 5-man units, very small, reasonably cheap, and that's unlocking a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
So whenever you come to your scenario play during the actual games, you're not going to be able to take and hold scenarios.
Right. So
Very much the balancing
there's
act.
a balance to this starter
Yeah.
box then.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I like what's in it. It's an awful lot of men in it, I've got to say. But I suppose that's something I'm just going to have to get used to. I've got a mortar team in there, so I'm going to have some degree of flexibility. I'm interested in this anti-tank rifle team. Like, what do you guys have in your starter lists? Your 1,000 point lists. What do you have?
You talk about yours first, because
Right,
yours
well-
is again based off a starter box.
Yeah, well, you see, this is one of the things we wanted to talk about in this video, is the actual routes we've used to get in.
Okay.
So you've got a starter box.
I'm going to do this
That's
starter
what I've
box.
got.
Yeah.
I already have my starter box, which was the German here starter box. So in it, I had 2nd Lieutenant, 4 rifle squads, a Pack 40 anti-tank gun. Which is
How
very
many
nice.
men were in the rifle squads?
10-man units.
Okay.
So 40 men.
Yeah.
And then I had a Hetzer, so little cute tank hunter, medium mortar team, and an MG42.
No tank.
No, that's
Hetzer
what
was
my
his
Hetzer
vehicle.
is.
Yeah. So you've got.
Instead of having
would
one
my
big tank,
anti-tank rifle team be able to do
could
something
maybe on
against the
side or
Hetzer?
rear.
It could probably do some damage to it, yeah.
Okay. Right. There we go. There's a bit of balance there already. I'm liking it.
exactly, but you see, here's where the other balance is. Instead of me having a big tank, I've got the Hetzer, yeah, but I've also got the Pack 40, which is a reasonably good anti-tank gun.
Yes.
It's
The
a-
Pack 40 is
yes,
very
it's
good. Yeah.
fixed, but it's letting me get that heavy gun down on the table without having to pay a world of points.
No mortars in that list, though.
Yes, I have a mortar in that.
You have a
medium
mortar. Uh-huh.
and I have the MG42, which
Okay.
is a machine gun team, which is very nasty on the table. You'll want to hide your men from it,
Yeah.
because with it has a special rule, Hitler's buzzsaw. Basically, I think it's my light and my medium,
Fire an extra shot.
yeah, my light and medium machine guns get an extra shot, which
Okay.
is a little bit more deadly.
Right. John,
I-
did you not go with the starter box?
I
No.
didn't
No,
go
he went
starter
off the
box.
wall.
Yeah.
When we were at Salute,
Uh-huh.
I went to the Warlord stand.
Yep.
I flashed my card at them,
Mm-hmm.
and they said, "What would you like, sir?" And I just went, "I want a Firefly, I want an armored car, and I want a box of infantry, and that Stuart tank as well."
And did that fit into the 1,000 points?
Roughly.
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 Roughly. But it can be tweaked to fit into
I bought
1,000 points.
I
yeah?
bought the Firefly because I wanted one.
Yes.
Yeah.
But for the actual gameplay, I took the armored car, which was a Daimler Mark 1,
Uh-huh.
and took the Stuart as my armor,
Yeah.
and then got the infantry box to make my.
So there's lots of
1,000
different
points.
routes into this
Mhm.
game. You can either go with the starter boxes, which I think are exceptionally good in this game. They're very
They're
well
perfectly
worked out.
balanced for
Yeah.
your first games. If you and a mate both go out and get one each,
Mhm.
you're going to have good games against each other. It's not just going to be one side flattening the other the whole time.
Or if you pick yourself up the book
Yeah.
first and have a flick through it and get used to it,
Yep.
you could do as John did and just go, I like the look of this, 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 and this,
Mhm.
and put that together. So, right. Well, I'm interested to find out how this whole series goes. The first episode will be in a little while. Obviously, we need to try and get a hold of some of this stuff so
Well,
I can
you
start
need
to
to
put
get
it
a hold
together.
of your stuff. We already have our stuff.
Mhm. So, what we intend to do in this series is, track the progress of our armies, talk about rules and things as we go along, as we find out about them and discover them.
Yep, and there are some very cool little rules that I've already red flagged for me and John to actually show people.
We have battle reports where we're
yes.
going to be fighting out some battles, possibly 2, maybe even 3-way battles. Who knows?
Yep, and we are planning the table build for that.
Yeah. So if you're interested, by all means, stay tuned. If you're a backstager, you're going to get an XLBS, so an extra long backstage version of this show, where we err on the side of awesome, John
Yeah.
tells me.
Yes.
So I like the sound of that. But in the meantime, that's where we're going. If you want to follow along, hop on over to the Warlord Games website. Have a look at the various army books that are available. Go grab yourself one. Maybe grab yourself a starter box. if you want to go down the route myself and Justin's going down the path of least resistance.
Yep.
Or you can do what Brainbox did here and have a flick through the
book.
book.
If you like Mr. Lions and have the anorak on tight enough to choke you.
Yeah, you can go and pick all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking forward to this, gentlemen. The challenge is accepted. I will be an expert on a small, tiny piece of Soviet military history by the time this series has reached the conclusion of season 1.
Whether you like it or not.
Whether I like it or not, I'm up for this one.
He's going to go home and watch Enemy at the Gates.
Yes, probably.
Yeah,
that's what I'll do. And remember, if you have any suggestions of how I can theme this Soviet army, because if I don't get any suggestions, I'm going to theme it like Imperial Guard. But if you can give me some suggestions and point me in the right direction, I would like to have a go at doing this as a historically accurate thing.
Yeah,
To see if
when
someone-
we expand you, we actually did give you a commissar. Just because we knew you would want one.
we knew you would like a comment.
Can I get one per unit?
I don't know.
Okay.
Wrap it up.
Yep,
Okay.
you can wrap it
We're
up.
all done, guys? Well, hopefully you're looking forward to the series, guys. Hopefully that's given you a bit of an insight into what we're going to do. Myself, Warren, and John are going to move on here, and we'll see you again in episode 1.